Good morning students. Today's practical class is on anterior and lateral compartments of leg along with dorsum of the foot. A common incision is made to expose both the compartments. One transverse incision from tibial tuberosity up to the head of the fibula. Another transverse incision connecting the medial and lateral malleoli. Vertical incision from tibial tuberosity up to the medial malleolus. Skin flap will be reflected laterally. Deep to the skin there lies the superficial fascia, and deep to the superficial fascia is the deep fascia of the leg or the fascia cruris. Lower part of the fascia cruris is thickened to form the superior extensor retinaculum, which retains the tendons of the muscles in position. The anterior compartment or the extensor compartment of the leg intervenes between the deep fascia and the interosseous membrane. Medially, it is bounded by the lateral surface of the shaft of the tibia. Laterally, it is bounded by the medial surface of the shaft of the fibula and anterior intermuscular septum. Contents are four muscles. One is tibialis anterior muscle, extensor digitorum longus muscles, extensor hallucis longus, and the small muscle peroneus tertius. And two other important structures, one is anterior tibial artery and deep peroneal nerve. Tibialis anterior muscle converges to form a tendon which is inserted in the base of the first metatarsal. Extensor digitorum longus divides into four sleeves for the lateral four toes. In the lower part of the leg, extensor hallucis longus emerges and goes to form a tendon up to the great toe. Peroneus tertius is a small muscle inserted in the base of the fifth metatarsal bone, and this muscle is considered as the fifth tendon of the extensor digitorum longus. In upper part of the leg, tibialis anterior and the extensor digitorum longus run side by side, whereas in lower part, tibialis anterior and extensor hallucis longus runs side by side. Now the deep peroneal nerve is one of the terminal divisions of the common peroneal nerve. It arises from the bifurcation of the common peroneal nerve in the lateral surface of the neck of the fibula and descends downwards in front of the anterior interosseous membrane accompanied by this anterior tibial artery. In the upper third and lower third of the leg, the nerve lies lateral to the artery, whereas in the middle third, this nerve comes in front of the anterior tibial artery. Below, the nerve descends in between the tendon of the flexure hallucis longus and the first tendon of the extensor digitorum longus and lies lateral to the artery dorsalis pedis, the dorsalis pedis artery, and this nerve reaches up to the gap between the two heads of the first digital interosseous and divides into medial and lateral terminal branches. The anterior tibial artery is a smaller terminal division of the popliteal artery. Initially, it lies in the posterior compartment, then passes through the gap in the upper border of the interosseous membrane and descends in front of the interosseous membrane accompanied by this deep peroneal nerve, and beyond the ankle it continues as the dorsalis pedis artery. This artery continues to the sole and participates in formation of the plantar arterial arch with the deep branch of the lateral plantar artery. This artery have a clinical importance. This artery can be palpated in the peripheral vascular diseases for assessment of the condition of the artery in between the tendon of the extensor hallucis longus and the first tendon of the extensor digitorum longus. Now, come to the incision of the dorsum of the foot. One transverse incision is made in the joining the medial and lateral malleoli. Another curved transverse incision connecting the roots of the toes. longitudinal incision from the midpoint of the proximal transverse incision up to the tip of the second toe, and skin flaps will be reflected medially and laterally. Deep to it lies the superficial fossa, and this superficial fossa contains dorsal venous arch, cutaneous nerves and superficial lymphatics. Deep fossa is thin overall but close to the ankle joint. It thickened to form the inferior extensor retinaculum. This retinaculum is Y-shaped. Stem is attached to the anterior part of the upper surface of the calcaneus. Upper band is attached to the medial malleolus. Lower part arches over the tendons and merges with the plantar aponeurosis. Now come to the lateral compartment. There is a muscle, this is the extensor digitorum brevis, the intrinsic muscles of the dorsum of the foot. It gives 4 slips for insertion in the medial 4 toes, and the medialmost slip is known as the extensor hallucis brevis. Lateral compartment is bounded intervenes between the deep fossa and the anterior intermuscular septum. Here, the medial it is bounded by the lateral surface of the medial it is bounded by the medially it is bounded by the lateral surface of the shaft of the fibula, and laterally it is bounded by the deep fossa. It contains two important muscles, only two muscles, peroneus longus and peroneus brevis. Peroneus longus lodges in a osseo-fibrous groove in the plantar aspect of the cuboid bone, whereas this and ultimately inserted in the base of the first metatarsal, whereas peroneus brevis tendon is attached to the base of the first fifth metatarsal bone and lodges in a groove in the lateral malleolus. Both the tendons are enclosed by the superior and inferior peroneal reticula. Other contents are superficial peroneal nerve and the peroneal branch of the posterior tibial artery. That's all about the theoretical part of the class. In next part, I will show the